Welcome to my channel Liberty Old Coin and 3 coin history world where curiosity turns into discovery, where small details can unlock big dreams, and where every story you hear today might just change the way you see tomorrow. Now let us step into a story that has been hiding in plain sight for decades. A story that begins with a single remarkable coin, the Australia $2 1988 ElizabethII coin, a piece of history that carries far more power and mystery than most people realize. This script is about one single coin, one specific Australia $2 coin for 1988. Not many coins, not a pile, not a collection, but one legendary piece that has captured the attention of serious collectors around the world. In 1988, Australia was celebrating something extraordinary, 200 years since the arrival of the first fleet and the founding of modern Australia. And to honor this massive national milestone, the Royal Australian Mint created a special new $2 coin for the first time in the country's history, featuring Queen Elizabeth II on one side and a powerful design of Aboriginal elder and Southern Cross stars on the other. This was not just a new coin, it was a symbol of identity, history, and respect. And that is why this $2 coin became instantly important the moment it was released into circulation. Queen Elizabeth II, whose portrait appears on the coin, represented continuity and stability, and in 1988 her image was recognized and trusted all over the world, making this coin internationally attractive from the very beginning. What makes this 1988 $2 coin truly special is that it was the very first year this denomination was ever introduced in Australia, meaning it marks the birth of the $2 coin itself. And first-year issues are always the most desirable in the world of numismatics. Even more exciting is the fact that some of these coins were struck with slight variations, mint differences, and unique finishes that only sharp-eyed collectors can identify, turning certain examples into treasures far beyond their face value. Because this coin was part of a historic year and a brand new denomination, many people kept them, but far fewer kept them in perfect condition. And that is where the magic happens, because high-grade examples for 1988 are incredibly difficult to find today. Collectors do not just want any 1988 $2 coin. They want the best of the best, coins that still shine, coins that have sharp details, coins that look as if time barely touched them. And those are the coins that command astonishing prices. Over the years, demand for this specific coin has continued to rise as more people around the world learn that the 1988 $2 coin is the foundation of an entire modern series, making it a key date that every serious Australian coin collector must own. When bidding wars begin for top condition examples, prices can climb to astonishing levels, and in premium mint state grades, this single coin has been known to reach values up to $12,000 in the private collector market. That means one small coin that once bought a cup of coffee can now be worth more than a luxury vacation, simply because of its history, rarity and high grade, and emotional connection to Australia's bicentennial year. The reason this coin continues to grow in value is because collectors are not just buying metal, they are buying a moment in time, the very birth of Australia's $2 coin, and a tribute to a defining national celebration. Every year, fewer pristine examples remain, and as more collectors enter the market, competition increases, pushing prices even higher for the best surviving pieces. This is why experts see the 1988 $2 Elizabeth II coin not just as a collectible, but as a powerful investment piece, one that carries both cultural importance and financial strength. If you own one of these coins in excellent condition, you are holding a silent fortune in your hand, something that could transform a small object into a life-changing opportunity. The story of this one single 1988 Australia $2 coin proves that history, timing, and rarity can turn something ordinary into something extraordinary, and that is exactly why collectors all over the world continue to chase it. So next time you look at a simple coin, remember that sometimes the smallest things carry the biggest value, and the 1988 Elizabeth II $2 coin stands as a shining example of how one piece of history can become a powerful treasure. Next coin, the coin you're holding right now, the Australia 1995 $2 coin, is a fascinating piece of currency, and its story is one that every Australian should know. When we talk about the 1995 $2 coin, We have to be very specific about which one you actually have because there is a massive difference between the one in your pocket change and the one that collectors dream about. You have asked if this coin is valuable, and I am here to tell you that yes, it absolutely can be, but the story is not as simple as just the date on the coin. The value depends entirely on the version you own, its condition, and its history, and we're going to dive deep into that story right now. First, let's look at the standard coin, the one that the Royal Australian Mint in Canberra produced for everyday use. This is the coin with the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the front, wearing the beautiful state diadem, with the initials RDM for the designer Raphael Maklauf. On the back, you will see the iconic design by Horst Hannah, featuring an Aboriginal elder, the Southern Cross constellation, and some stylized Australian flora. This is the coin that most Australians would have jingling in their pockets. In 1995, the mint struck a massive number of these coins. Sources indicate that the mintage was somewhere between 13.9 million and 15.5 million pieces. When you have a number that high, simple economics tells you that a coin cannot be rare in its standard form. Therefore, if you have found a standard 1995 $2 coin that has been used for bus fares and buying milk, its current value is not going to make you a millionaire. A coin in typical circulated condition, meaning it has some scratches, the shine is gone, and the details are slightly worn, is worth exactly what it says on the coin, $2. You might find a dealer willing to pay a tiny premium for an absolutely perfect, uncirculated example that still has its original mint luster, perhaps $1 or $2 more, but we're talking about a very small amount of money. Some price guides suggest that even in perfect condition, the standard coin might be valued at a couple of dollars over face value, but it is not a life-changing sum. But do not close this video yet because this is where the story gets incredibly exciting. The real value in the 1995 $2 coin lies not with the Canberra Mint, but with the Perth Mint. In the same year, the Perth Mint released a completely different kind of $2 coin. It also features Queen Elizabeth II, and it also says $2 on it, but that is where the similarities end. This coin is a magnificent piece of bullion, part of the famous Australian Kookaburra series. Instead of being small and gold-colored, this coin is huge. It weighs 2 full troy ounces of solid silver, measuring over 50 millimeters in diameter. It is a stunning coin, often featuring a detailed depiction of a kookaburra, sometimes in flight or perched on a branch. This is not pocket change. This is a serious collectible. The value of this silver kookaburra coin is immediately apparent. Just based on the metal alone, it is worth a significant amount. With silver prices fluctuating, the melt value of 2 ounces of 0.999 silver is substantial, often sitting around the $70 to $80 mark or more, depending on the current market. But because it is a collectible coin, its value goes much higher than its weight in silver. Recent auctions and sales data show that these 1995 2-ounce silver kookaburras regularly sell for prices ranging from €91 to as high as €193 in auctions, which translates to well over $200 Australian or $150 US dollars. This is because collectors around the world seek out these coins for their beauty and their place in a prestigious series. Now, if you want to talk about maximum value and the true pinnacle of what a 1995 $2 coin can achieve, we have to look at the proof versions and the incredibly rare privy mark varieties. The Perth Mint, being the master of marketing that they are, created special versions of this silver coin with tiny, distinct markings called privy marks to commemorate specific events or anniversaries. For the 1995 coin, these are extraordinarily rare. For example, there are versions with a privy mark for the 50th anniversary of the end of World War II, of which only 1,300 were made. There is one with a USA Gold Eagle privy mark, with a mintage of just 800. There are others for the Flora 1927, Flora 1934, and even a 40-hour famine appeal, many with mintages as low as 1,000 or 1,500 pieces. When you get into these levels of rarity, the value can skyrocket. While individual sales for these specific privy marks from 1995 are harder to find in everyday data, we can look at the trend. A set of 4 silver kookaburra coins from 1995 1996, and 1997, including one with a rare privy mark, sold at auction with an estimate of $140, eventually selling for $200, and that was for a set. An individual, perfect, certified example of a low-mintage 1995 privy mark coin could easily be worth $300 for $100, or even more to the right collector. The potential maximum value for the absolute best, rarest version of this coin, such as the 600 proof coins made for special collections, is likely in the high hundreds of dollars. And as the years go by and these coins become harder to find in perfect condition, that number will only climb. So, what is the history of your specific coin? If it is the small, lightweight, aluminum bronze coin from your change, its history is one of service, paying for small transactions across the country for the last 3 decades. Its future value is likely to remain stable, but low because there are simply so many of them. However, if you have the large, heavy, silver coin from the Perth Mint, you are holding a piece of Australian numismatic art. Its history is one of careful storage in collections, admired for its beauty and silver content. Its future value is bright, driven by the global demand for silver and the ever-shrinking pool of available high-grade examples. To motivate you, the viewer, I want you to do something right now. Go and look at your coin. Feel its weight. Look at its size. Is it small and light? It is likely the common circulating coin. Is it large, heavy, and shiny? You might have a treasure. The maximum price for a standard coin is a cup of coffee. The maximum price for a rare silver proof could be a weekend away, a new appliance for your home, or a fantastic addition to an investment portfolio. Do not just dismiss that old $2 coin. Research it, look for the word kookaburra on it, check its weight, and see if it has any special markings. The difference between $2 and $200 is simply knowing what to look for. This is why we love coin collecting. It is the thrill of the hunt and the discovery of hidden value in the palm of your hand. Second coin, the coin we're talking about today, the Australian 2005 $2 coin, is a fascinating subject because it represents a split personality in the world of numismatics. To the average person walking down the street, a $2 coin is just a piece of metal for a parking meter or a coffee. But for those in the know, the year 2005 hides some incredible secrets and values that can turn that small change into a serious payday. You want to know if this coin is valuable, and I am here to tell you with absolute certainty that it is, but you must understand the specific type of 2005 $2 coin you're holding, because the difference between one version and another is the difference between a bus ticket and a significant profit. First, let's address the coin that most people will have. This is the standard circulation coin, the one designed by Horst Hanna, featuring the Aboriginal elder on the reverse and the Ian Rank Broadley portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse. This is the workhorse of the Australian economy, and in 2005, the Royal Australian Mint produced a staggering number of these coins. The total mintage for the standard circulating $2 coin in 2005 was approximately 45.5 million pieces. Some sources even suggest the total for all varieties that year might be closer to 285 million when including all mintages. When you have a number that high, the laws of supply and demand dictate that the coin simply cannot be considered rare in its standard form. So, if you have found a standard 2005 $2 coin in your pocket change that has been jangling around with keys and coins for years, its current value is very close to its face value. A well-worn, circulated coin is worth exactly $2. You might find a dealer willing to pay a very small premium, perhaps $2 or $3, for one that is in absolutely perfect, uncirculated condition, still shiny and free of any marks. But we're talking about a very modest sum that is not going to change your life. However, if that is the only story, I would not be making this video, because the real treasure lies elsewhere, and it is a story of silver, service, and stunning design. The real value for the year 2005 lies with the Perth Mint and their series of commemorative coins. In 2005, the Perth Mint released several numismatic products with a face value of $2, but that is where the similarity to your pocket change ends. These are large, heavy coins made of solid silver, and they were designed to honor specific themes and attract collectors from around the globe. The most prominent of these is the Australian Peacekeepers Air Force coin. This coin is a magnificent piece of numismatic art, struck in 1 full ounce of 99.9% pure silver, and it weighs a substantial 31.135 grams. It was not made for spending. It was made to commemorate the service of the Australian Air Force in peacekeeping missions. The history and purpose of this coin are clear. It was built in 2005 by the Perth Mint to honor the men and women of the Australian Air Force who have served in peacekeeping roles around the world. The reverse design features powerful aviation and warrior iconography, making it a deeply symbolic and patriotic piece. This gives the coin an immediate emotional and historical weight that a standard circulation coin simply does not possess. It was minted in extremely limited numbers, with a known mintage of only 2,500 pieces. This is a microscopic number compared to the 45 million of the standard coin, and that scarcity is the primary driver of its high value. Now, when we talk about how many people want to buy this coin, the answer is a lot. The market for silver commemorative coins is global. You have collectors in Australia who want a piece of their military history. You have silver stackers around the world who want to own precious metal, and you have numismatists who specialize in the Perth Mint's output. With only 2,500 coins in existence, the demand far outstrips the supply. Every serious collector of Australian commemoratives wants this coin in their collection, and because they are now over 20 years old, finding one in pristine condition is becoming increasingly difficult. The competition is fierce, and that competition is what pushes the price higher and higher. So what is the current value of this magnificent silver coin? The current value is impressively high, and it is not just based on the silver price. While the melt value of the silver content is significant, typically sitting around $57 to $60 or approximately $90 Australian dollars, depending on the daily silver market, the collectible premium is where the real money lies. Recent sales and auction data show that this coin consistently trades for prices well above its melt value. For example, in mid-2022, one sold for an impressive $227. In August 2023, another transaction recorded a price of $142. Averaging these out, you're looking at a coin that is currently valued at around $185, which is over $280 Australian dollars. That is an enormous return on a $2 face value. Is its value really high or low? For ModernCoin, this value is exceptionally high. It places the 2005 Air Force silver coin in the upper echelons of modern Australian collectible currency. To put it in perspective, you would need to find 140 standard $2 coins just to match the value of one of these silver pieces. The value is driven by the perfect storm of low mintage, high silver content, significant historical theme, and sustained collector demand. It is a textbook example of how a modern coin can become a blue-chip collectible in just a couple of decades. But the surprises for 2005 do not end there. The Perth Mint also released a stunning Lunar Series I coin for the Year of the Rooster. This coin, also struck in 2 ounces of silver, features a beautiful, sometimes colorized, design of a standing rooster looking backwards. While the mintage for this coin is higher than the Air Force coin, with 6,868 pieces minted, it is still a highly sought-after item in the Lunar Series, which is incredibly popular with collectors across Asia and the world. These coins in perfect condition can easily sell for several $100s, with colorized versions and proof versions demanding even higher prices. There is even a third type of 2005 $2 coin, a proof coin that featured a pad-printed, colored representation of the Australian coat of arms with a scene of a U.S. aid work. This coin is exceedingly rare and represents the pinnacle of what the mint can produce. These are not coins you will ever find in circulation. They were sold in special presentation cases to collectors. The Gray Sheet, which is a wholesale pricing guide for dealers, lists these varieties, indicating they have a recognized and significant value in the professional numismatic community. The maximum price for one of these absolute rarities could be very substantial. So, to motivate you, the viewer, I want you to take immediate action. Go to your collection, your old tin of coins, or that drawer where you keep special things. Do not just look at the date. Look at the coin itself. Is it small, light, and gold-colored with an Aboriginal man on it? That is your standard coin, worth $2. But if you see a large, heavy, shiny silver coin, if you see the words Air Force or Peacekeepers, or if you see a beautiful rooster, you're holding something completely different. You're holding a coin that was built not for spending, but for remembering. You are holding a coin that only 2,500 other people in the world can own. Its value is high, and it will only go higher as time passes and these pieces become even harder to find. The maximum price for the standard coin is a coffee, but the maximum price for a 2005 silver commemorative is a new television, a fantastic weekend away, or a solid addition to your savings. That is the power of knowing what you have, and that is the thrill of coin collecting.